To discuss this, I have Peter Lavelle, our political commentator, with me in the studio. Well, Peter, quite a few points interesting that they said. They said that the Russian troops will pull out by the 22nd of August. However, they will be within the responsibility zone. We all remember that the responsibility zone is not only South Ossetia, but it's also part of the Georgian territory. Well, but another interesting point that I think you brought out...
No, but let's make sure, but under the conditions of peacekeepers there in 1992 and upgraded in 1999, that zone of responsibility is a legal entity. The Georgians aren't going to like it. Nobody, America's not going to like it. Condoleezza Rice is going to make a lot of noise, probably John McCain as well. We're going to go through the same thing again. But the fact of the matter is that's the law. Exactly.
But they also said that Georgian troops will not be allowed in this territory. So basically, Georgian troops will not be allowed into their own territory.
Well, not only Georgian troops, nobody will be able to go there without
only Russians will be able to
permission.
Control
It'll be a closed airspace also. So, yes.
Sounds like a new border?
Well, Georgia has forfeited sovereignty there, territorial control. It was their decision. It was Saakashvili's decision to do it. Russia is only reacting to international law, its obligations, and there will only be Russian peacekeepers there.
But doesn't it sound like a new border to you, that only Russian
peacekeepers essentially it's a border in everyone's mind right now. We'll see how it plays out. But this is only under certain circumstances. It doesn't mean it'll have to stay that way forever. It'll be up to the Georgians to do that. If they amass troops around that area, well, Russia will maintain its force there. Under law, it has the right to do that.
So what do you think, what kind of reaction are we going to see from the Georgian side?
Well, obviously not a very good one. Saakashvili will say he's under occupation, look for American help. But I don't think we're going much further with this. There's no reason in the world why the United States wants to have a confrontation with Russia over this. The world has to analyze what Saakashvili has done first.
And also he talked about aid once again, saying that so far we haven't seen any international aid, well, apart from Belarusian aid, but that's not international, to South Ossetia.
This is Western media. This is Western media and Western governments. You know, there are no victims in South Ossetia. I mean, go ahead, look at the rundowns of television right now, all of our major competitors. South Ossetia no longer exists for them, almost never did in the first place, and that's a real tragedy in all this. They talk about the Georgian people. There were casualties there, but people are going home to broken windows in their homes. The people in South Ossetia have no homes to go home to. There's a big difference there, and I think the international community is being very benign and not looking at South Ossetia closer.
But they also said in new points, peacekeeping points there in South Ossetia and in Abkhazia as well. Do you think that's according to that agreement as well?
Both agreements under international law. Now, there's going to be a lot of quibbling what those agreements really mean. And the Georgians will say, no, we're no longer part of this agreement, get out of our territory. Russia will interpret it differently. Hopefully, there'll be some forms of litigation here, mediation, but we have to end the conflict itself and get back to the ceasefire agreement. Then it'll be a political decision later on.
And he also said that Russia will pose no barriers to controlling organizations.
That's right.
There.
OSCE, they'll be able to move around at will. There are certain rules and regulations for monitors. They just have to know what they are. It's pretty standard all around the world. Russia, as he said, is trying to be very, very transparent here, but it's going to be a lot of discussion about what the zone of responsibility means. That's going to be the new catchword here.
So do you think we're going to see a new agreement? Or
well, it depends. You know, it gets down to one thing that I think I end this every day by saying it depends on what the people in South Ossetia want too. They're a partner in this, and Russia will make sure that they remain part of this process. No one's going to be talking over their heads. That's what Saakashvili wanted to do. They're not going to be ignored. Russia is going to respect them and protect them.